This is 3 News Now, your daily update on everything Northeast Ohio with Stephanie Haney.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. On this Tuesday, July 12th, I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thank you for being here for the stories that matter most to you here in Northeast Ohio. These are the stories that you are clicking on, reading, and sharing, taking directly from our website and from our app based on what you are all paying attention to. So let's start first with what's happening in Washington, D.C. today. There is another January 6th hearing taking place at the time of recording. This is the 7th hearing in a series presenting many revelations before the January 6th committee. So today, the hearing is focused on the ways that violent far-right extremists answered President Donald Trump's tweet, president at the time, for a big Washington rally as a, quote, call to arms. So the panel is looking into whether they coordinated with White House allies in what turned out to be the deadly U.S. Capitol attack and an effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Now, there were dozens of lawsuits and false claims of voter fraud that were filed and fizzled. And then after that, then President Trump met late into the night of December 18th with attorneys at the White House before tweeting what amounted to the rally invitation: "Be there, will be wild." And in response to that, members of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers groups, who are now facing very rare sedition charges, answered that call. Now, if you're not familiar with sedition, sedition is speaking in a way that would encourage others to take up arms against the government. So today, the panel has been showing graphic and violent text messages and playing videos of right-wing figures, including Alex Jones and others, laying out that January 6th would be the day that they fight for the president. They were often using vulgar and racist language in these messages across far-right forums, planning for the day that they say President Trump was asking for in Washington. Some of them saying it would be a, quote, red wedding, which is a reference to mass killing with a, quote, bring handcuffs. Red wedding, also a prominent reference from the series Game of Thrones. So the committee is now looking into whether the extremist groups, including the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and QAnon, who had rallied for Trump before, coordinated with White House allies for January 6th. The Oath Keepers have denied there was any plan to storm the Capitol. Again, this is the 7th hearing so far in front of the January 6th committee. There was a hearing scheduled for Thursday of this week during prime time. That has been postponed or rescheduled at this time. Not sure when that will be, but for now, we're paying attention to this. It is being streamed on WKYC.com, so you'll be able to watch it back there in full. Speaking of streams, tomorrow the Willoughby Police will be giving an update on a 42-year-old homicide investigation. That's going to be streaming on Wednesday, July 13th. That will be at 11 a.m. We were made aware of the press conference today, and those are all the details that we were given. So this will be related to, again, a 42-year-old homicide investigation. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Now, speaking of the national stage and what's going on around the world, in a special edition of Legally Speaking, we break down 5 major Supreme Court decisions from this summer, taking a look at Miranda rights, immigration, prayer in schools, public funding of private education, abortion rights, and the future of fundamental rights like same-sex marriage and access to contraception. I am joined by several experts from some of the best law schools in the state of Ohio. We're taking a look at the cases of Vega versus Tico, Biden versus Texas, Kennedy versus the Bremerton School District, Carson versus Macon, and Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization. The special guests joining me are Professor Cesar Garcia Hernandez from The Ohio State University, also a Texas attorney, Professor Abby Moncrief from the Cleveland Marshall College of Law, and Professor Jonathan Enton from the Case Western Reserve University School of Law. Professor Enton actually clerked under the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she was with the Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. So you can find that on WKYC Plus, which is on your Fire TV or your Roku apps. You can also find it on our WKYC YouTube page. Now, bringing it back home, Slyman's Tavern has announced that it will be permanently closing its Orange location, and that is effective immediately. We learned this in a Facebook post. They said that the building that they were in has been sold, and it's going to be the future home of a new Restoration Hardware in Orange. So representatives from Slyman's Tavern told Doug Tratner, who is a 3 News contributor in his capacity for Cleveland Scene, that they had planned to move to a smaller location in Pinecrest, but that is not happening. So on Facebook, they said that they would share relocation information when they can. Now, last year, Slyman's closed its Menor location, so that means right now the only Slyman's Tavern that is remaining open is in Independence on Rockside Road. There is also the deli location, that's on St. Clair Avenue in downtown Cleveland. So 2 spots remaining open where you can get your Slyman's. Won't be able to do it effective immediately in Orange. Now, switching gears to the medical world, there seems to be a trend that is emerging where we're looking at parents, specifically moms, and microdosing psychedelics. There's more and more research that's coming out about microdosing psychedelics. So I talked with an expert about it on my 3 Things to Know podcast. I talked with Dr. Brian Barnett from the Cleveland Clinic. He's the co-director of the treatment-resistant depression clinic at the Cleveland Clinic. And we talked about psychedelics and microdosing and how there's research coming out about their use in mental health issues and their medical benefits for things like anxiety, depression, and PTSD. So we talk all about that. It's a fascinating conversation in the 3 Things to Know podcast. You can find that on WKYC.com/3 Things to Know. Also the WKYC Instagram page, YouTube page, our WKYC Plus platform on your Fire TV and your Roku, and also on all of your podcast platforms. Now here's something that you are all scoping out online today. It's Amazon Prime Day, and Prime Day is kind of a misnomer because this actually runs for 2 days. It started at 3 a.m. Eastern today, and it goes through Wednesday, July 13th. Big day for Amazon, big group of days for Amazon. Last year, people spent more than $11 billion during the 2-day Prime Day event. So this year's 2-day will be the first without Jeff Bezos as CEO, as he stepped down from Amazon CEO in 2021. And lots of things that people are looking at. We have some of those previews on WKYC.com. Some of the things that people are buying include Amazon devices, Amazon subscriptions, summer items, and back-to-school essentials. But maybe most importantly, here are the things that experts say you should hold off on, not necessarily the best items to buy on Prime Day. Furniture, gaming consoles, TVs, or phones. These things tend to be better deals near Labor Day or Black Friday. I will tell you, though, I got a very good deal on protein powder on Amazon today. Pretty steep discount on it. Just saying. Another one that you should be aware of, Grubhub Plus has partnered with Amazon, so you can get a free year membership right now. Normally it's $10 a month for Grubhub Plus, and that means if you spend more than $12 on your takeout order, which who doesn't always spend more than $12 on a takeout order, you can get it without fees. So that's a savings of $120 if you are in the delivery crowd. Now let's talk about sports. Let's move to the Guardians. Last night, rookie Nolan Jones drove in 4 runs, and the Guardians took over the White Sox, the Chicago White Sox, 8-4. I was there. It was a very exciting moment, both of the times that this happened. He hit a 2-run single in the first inning off of Lance Lynn, and then he drove 2 more runs home with a double in the 5th inning. That was really kind of the clinching moment for the game, in my opinion, because there had been a little back and forth in the scoring until that point, and then from the 5th inning on, then it was going pretty well for the Guardians. It was a good game to see, and it was a beautiful night for baseball, and today is a beautiful day for baseball. A little bit muggy outside, but still, the sun is shining, and it's looking good out there. Now, at the time of recording this, it was in the 8th inning for the Guardians, and they were up 4-1. So here's hoping they pull out the win on the doubleheader that they're in today, and we see what happens with Game 2 later on. Now let's talk about football. Baker Mayfield is talking in Carolina. We haven't heard him say a lot publicly, but he did say today that if he were to describe his reaction to the Cleveland Browns deciding to part ways with him, he would describe it as shocked. This was in his introductory press conference. He said he thinks that's why it was surprising for everybody. Pretty unexpected, he said. Then he went on to say, I'm grateful for my time there. Yeah, I'd say shocked was pretty much the only way to describe it, but you roll with the punches and you've got to move forward. This is a test of adversity and how I'm going to handle it and how I can move forward and be the best teammate possible. Now, previously, to Panthers.com, he said he's not going to sit here like a robot and say that he doesn't have the season home opener marked on his calendar, because yes, the Carolina Panthers are taking on the Cleveland Browns in the season home opener. I will be there. My guy and I got flights, so we are going down there for that game. He said acting like a robot is not who he is. He says, to me, it's about winning games. Whoever we have marked on the schedule, I'm going to try to win. Obviously, this one has a little more history and personal meaning, but for me, it's about winning and setting the tone for the rest of the year. And however I can help this team do that, I'm going to do it. And then he was asked if he's the type to hold grudges, and then he kind of grinned and said, I try not to. We'll see how well that works out for Baker Mayfield, and we'll see who is on the field for the Cleveland Browns when that game rolls around on September 11th, because there's a lot of time between now and then, and right now we just do not know who the Cleveland Browns quarterback will be. Here is something we do know. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band are coming to Cleveland in 2023. They will be at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We're letting you know about this one far in advance, my friends. This concert will be on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. It will start at 7:30 p.m., in case you know what you'll be doing at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 5th in 2023. The tickets go on sale very soon, in about 2 weeks, at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, July 27th. So this will be the first time that Springsteen and the E Street Band are touring since February of 2017, and their first tour in North America since September of 2016. If you can't make it to the Cleveland show, there's also a show in Columbus on March 9th, 2023. We have the full list of tour dates on WKYC.com. I don't know about all of you, but I consider myself to be a planner. Thinking about what I might possibly be doing in April of 2023 right now is giving me a lot of anxiety. But if you are somebody who likes to plan that far ahead, I know they have to plan these tours that far ahead. I guess they may as well let us know. This is the information for you. Okay, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Tuesday, July 12th. I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.
Thanks for listening to 3 News Now with Stephanie Haney from WKYC Studios. Subscribe now so you never miss an update, and find more on everything you heard here on WKYC.com and in the WKYC app.